In the year 2022, smartphones are competing with cinema cameras and gaming PCs. We'll run through a list of the elite flagship devices and decide which one of them is 2022's best smartphone. Let's dive in. First on the list, we have a brand with a fan base so loyal you would think Elon Musk owned the company. If you want to be simple about it, the Xiaomi 12 Pro is a solid flagship phone. And this after the spectacular run its predecessor had. We can all recall that Xiaomi launched the first commercially available smartphone that charges at 120 watts, and a phone with an almost 1-inch camera sensor, the Mi 11 Ultra. A year after, and every serious device had adopted these features. Its new offering, the 12 Pro, sports a fingerprint-resistant glass black design, a 6.73-inch 2K AMOLED display coupled with quad speakers that have support for Dolby Atmos. Its interiors are powered by a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chip that is matched with 12GB of RAM and 128 or 256GB of storage. It's dual SIM if that's your shtick, but you might be disappointed to know that the storage is non-expandable. Nevertheless, the device has an excellent triple 50-megapixel camera system that gives crisp and natural photos. The device itself is powered by a 4,600 mAh battery that will get you through a day on full charge. At a price point of $999, it is definitely worth your buck. OnePlus 10 Pro. Next on the list, we have a brand from China that has stepped up its game ever since it was first launched in 2013. OnePlus 10 Pro. The first thing that attracts people to a brand new phone is its looks. And while the $899 OnePlus 10 Pro might not be the best 2022 device, it has an incredibly sleek design. But looks are not enough for this list, and that is why the OnePlus 10 Pro also has 3 rear cameras that place it above the average smartphone. Its main, ultra-wide and telephoto lens that all come to a whopping 150 megapixels makes it easy to see what the fuss is about. Well, it is the incredibly powerful Qualcomm processor, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. This processor also ensures that whatever pictures you take will be seamless on its 6.7-inch Corning Gorilla Glass screen. But even though this might be the best device the company has made, it is not the best out there. Not when there is the Sony Xperia Pro I. Can you spend $1,800 on a phone? The Sony Xperia Pro I might not appeal to everyone, but that doesn't take anything from the fact that it is one of the best camera phones of 2022. In fact, the I in Xperia Pro I stands for imaging, which pays homage to Sony's alpha mirrorless interchangeable lens cameras. Let's just say that the Xperia is a phone attached to a camera. It sports an image sensor that enables outstanding low light performance and high dynamic range. While its triple 12 megapixels might seem like a downer to the uninitiated, megapixels mean nothing if your sensor is small. I hope the OnePlus team is taking notes. The Xperia Pro I's rear cameras use 3 glass lenses from Zeiss, and its main 24mm lens has dual aperture, which allows its user to change the depth of field more quickly to create an authentic bokeh, unlike the digital software-created bokeh effect that other phones produce. The Xperia Pro I is the first smartphone in the world that records 4K videos at 120 FPS and still preserves all 120 frames. While other smartphones compress 4K video files, the Pro I ensures you have 100% control in post-production. Its other features include a 6.5-inch OLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate. It runs on a Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 5G processor. It comes with a standard 12GB of RAM, 512GB of internal storage, a micro SDXC card slot, and a 4,500 mAh battery, which can be fast charged at 30 watts. Now, while these features sound nice, it is not a balanced device. Nowhere is balanced as the Google Pixel 6. Google is a valuable brand, so it makes sense that they make valuable products. With the Pixel 6, it appears they did just that. Released in 2021, this simple-looking gadget remains relevant in its second year. Priced at a reasonable $899, the Pixel 6 Pro offers a 6.7-inch OLED screen with 1440p wide resolution that is powered by Google's new Tensor chip, a first-of-its-kind custom-made processor that rivals Qualcomm Snapdragon 888. Aside from powering the phone, the Tensor processor also enables a myriad of AI-based customization to enhance features in the camera, speech recognition, and gaming. The Pixel 6 also comes equipped with 12GB of RAM and 512GB of storage. But the true star of the show is Pixel 6 Pro's cameras, which are beyond impressive. Remember what I said about large sensors? Well, Pixel sensors are large, and they feature in its dynamic trio of ultra-wide, wide, and telephoto cameras. Its main camera is 50 megapixel, its ultra-wide is 12 megapixels, and its telephoto camera is an impressive 48 megapixels. Its video recording capabilities are top of the shelf. You can shoot 4K at 60 FPS as long as you want without the phone overheating, and it has an 8 megapixel front camera and a 94-degree field of view, which means that you can fit in everyone in your next Oscar-inspired selfie. But this efficient Google offering cannot take the crown, because it pales in comparison to the performance beast known as the Asus ROG 6. If you think the Asus ROG 6 looks like a sci-fi device, that's because it is. This phone was created by a company that has devoted everything towards creating the perfect gaming PC. And this phone is meant to be a second cousin. It has a 6.7-inch AMOLED screen that can play anything in the highest quality. Its processor is an upgraded 5G Qualcomm Snapdragon 888. Its base RAM is 8GB and its internal storage is 128GB. It has an impressive 64-megapixel rear camera and a mind-blowing 24-megapixel selfie camera. Since this device is all about gaming performance, which can cause it to become warm during extended play, the phone bundles a geeky aero-active cooler accessory. Its battery is 6000 mAh and outlasts the Pixel 6 Pro very easily. With an impressive graphics performance, this techie device is priced at a comfortable $1,050. Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. There is no Android device on the face of the earth that defeats the Galaxy S22 Ultra. This beast has an impressive 6.8-inch screen that sports a 1080p OLED screen with up to 120Hz refresh rate and is bright enough to use comfortably in direct sunlight. Its OLED screens have rich blacks and vivid colors. Now, the only bummer that comes with the S22 on the list is its battery, and maybe that is why it is not the #1 on this list, but it compensates for that by supporting 45-watt fast charging, boosting from 0 to 100% in just an hour. The S22 Ultra uses the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset, which is currently Qualcomm's latest and greatest processor for Android phones. It also comes loaded with 8GB of RAM and performs better than some other brands with RAM overload. The S22 Ultra cameras are on another plane of existence, with a 108-megapixel stabilized main camera, a 10-megapixel stabilized 10x optical zoom telephoto, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 40-megapixel selfie camera. Video specs are also phenomenal, up to 8K at 24 FPS recording from the main camera and 4K at 30 or 60 FPS from the front-facing camera. The Galaxy S22 Ultra's top special feature is easily its integrated S Pen. It has improved massively since the Note 20 Ultra. There's 70% less latency when using it, which means that you might feel like you're writing or drawing with an actual pen. Currently priced at a hefty $1,200, it might shake the bank, but it is definitely worth the buck. Moving ahead, it is time for the moment of truth. The best phone in 2022 is the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Don't act surprised. Apple has proven time and time again why they're at the front of the smartphone race. While the Android fan club would argue that the S22 is a better device, it's just not true, and I'll show you why. The iPhone 13 Pro Max looks and feels sleeker than ever before, and its signature chunky lenses give it that retro feel that some might love. It also sports an AMOLED screen sprawled over a 6.7-inch display, but the true showstoppers are those chunky yet elite cameras. The iPhone 13 Pro Max packs a trio of 12-megapixel lenses that include main, ultra-wide, and telephoto cameras. The 13 Pro is a phone for those with an eye for details. While most of the cameras on flagship devices perform on the same impressive level in normal or bright sunlight, it is in low light that the 13 Pro defeats its rivals. Unlike all of the megapixel-chasing Android devices, Apple has stuck with 12 megapixels, the same resolution it's used since 2015's iPhone 6s. But it's expanded its sensor to take in more light more quickly than all other phone cameras. The iPhone 13 Pro Max video capabilities max out at 60 FPS and 4K. The 13 Pro is the only phone that offers a cinematic mode for video that provides a rack focus effect, which means it automatically switches subjects based on who is speaking. If Sony Xperia made a phone for photographers, iPhone made a phone for Hollywood. The iPhone 13 Pro 4500 mAh battery is one of the best among smartphones. It even lasts 2 hours longer than the S22. With its own A15 Bionic processor and with a starting price of $1,099, the iPhone 13 Pro is the best device of 2022. And there we have it. Not everyone might agree with this list, but I think the evidence speaks for itself. But what do you think? Is the iPhone 13 Pro Max the best thing since sliced bread, or did I miss it? Also, click the video on the screen for more videos like this.